है, बाकी के मार्क्स तो तुमको ही कमाने हैं। ये देख, डू यू रियली हैव एनी फेलिंग मटेरियल हियर? वी डोंट हैव, राइट? वी डोंट हैव एनीबडी हु इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू फेल। तो काय के लिए इतना टेंशन बना रहे सब लोग? तुम लोग, हाँ वो बराबर, नौमैन सेड राइट। नौमैन, the online exams, there is a doubt for you कि you will be sitting in the middle, your two brothers will be sitting on the sides, and they will be feeding you all the answers, feeding you all the answers. That is the reason people are more worried. You will come with a gang, like, to appear for exam. Never mind. Anyway, now, नहीं, never mind. नहीं, ये कुछ नहीं है, इतना इश्यूज क्यों बनाते हैं सब लोग मालूम नहीं है। एमी guys have got more problem, not you. Amy guys, poor guys, actually, no, I feel sometimes their subjects are different, more technically oriented, and maybe more difficult to teach online also. And then again, what happens is, हम लोग का तो रेपुटेशन बचपन से ही खराब है। ये जहाज पे जाते हैं, मजा करते हैं, ये करते हैं, वो करते हैं। तो वी कैप्टन्स आर डिफरेंट, रंगेल लोग हैं। बट chief engineers and all are very serious guys. Now serious guys are teaching young students who are already confused. So there is a bigger problem for them. And after that, so much of expectation. Like right now in e-classes, what we are doing, people want to keep somebody stand up and all also. I'll make that guy stand in the corner. I don't know how. Okay. So they keep you out of the class, throw him out of the class. कर रहे हैं, बहुत लोग कर रहे हैं, because actually what happens is, even for faculties, changing over to e-classes has been a tough job. It's like never did it before. You are trying to imagine the class in front of your eyes and try to apply the same principles, but I think we need new tricks. And again, the students are also not exactly, what I will say, not cooperative in the sense, not matured enough probably. There is a little bit issue because all the online stuff, online learning is basically meant for more mature minds where the student wants to learn. So then it works. That it's going on for quite some time. It's not new. E-learning is not new. But unfortunately, changeover from a classroom to e-learning is more complex. Because if I think I am in the class and you all are in the class, now what I expect in the class in a traditional way, I want all of you to keep quiet and I will do the talking. I will show you something on the board and explain you, etc., etc. Now, okay, I was lucky that I did not have experience in teaching when I joined. So I came out with my method. So I prepared the material because I hate writing. So I don't write so much on Blackboard. Now that saves me time because what happens is you get the ready-made image instead of spending time to draw the image, spending 10 minutes, I get 10 minutes extra. So generally I go faster with the syllabus. Now a lot of them, the teaching method has been you write on the board and explain step by step. Now that is where when you turn your back, then people are complaining. The moment I turn my back, these guys start talking. So that was one complaint. They are always talking and all. But in e-classroom, it is very nice actually. One click, mute all. Everybody is off. Now next thing comes the ego problem. I want all of them to pay attention. How do I know you're paying attention? So either in a normal classroom, I can look at your faces and I know either you are in the class or your mind is drifting somewhere else. Here I have got no clue. But that is where the maturity part comes. If you are here to learn, then you will participate. If you are not interested, it is your own problem. It is like in the Western world, the funeral arrangements are given by the man who is dead, man or woman. That is a wish. I want my funeral to be like this. So they have got a lot of variety. So it is your funeral. How do you want it? Okay. So don't mix up funeral means I am telling you bad thing. But that is how it is. You must have seen, no? The say this African American communities and all, or even in Jamaica and all these places, funeral get dancers and all lot of stuff is there. Means it is not exactly sad occasion. It is also guy is going to God, so let him go with his fun. Okay. So now enough of all this. Copper seizing wire is made out of copper, softer. Seizing wire itself is a soft iron. It is just to wrap up the end, end of the rope. Okay. So let us move on. Risk assessment. This is one of the things. You should know definition of risk assessment. It is one of the likely questions more in, your first question with it 2 marks each. What is the risk assessment? So you should be mentioning a process by which hazard risk consequences are analyzed in order to determine what actions, if any, are required to reduce the risk and the priority that should be given to any required action. All in one breath you have to do it. Okay, so risk assessment is what you do is you first identify hazard, then see the risk associated with the hazard and the consequences, what can go wrong, and what action you should be taking it to reduce the risk. Now this is more of a code of safe working practices, but in this case fire, we are talking related to fire. Now I will now put participants off the screen. Now in risk assessment, what we do is we examine what can cause fire. So what is my original idea? If fire happens, why should it happen in first place? If it happens, what I should be doing it, and so on. So we have got one of those mindsets after all this training is fire can take place anywhere. So from beginning I should be careful and I should not have fire. That's it. Variety of methods by which fire can start is one of the processes in mind. If this happens, there can be fire. If that happens, there can be fire. So this is how we look at it. Then, if it starts, how do I tackle it? That's the next phase. And how do I manage that risk? But what happens is, you also live with practicality. So it is not only that, okay, I think about fire. And what is the basic rule about fire is, keep the 3 sides of the triangle separated. So make sure one of them is absent. If one of them is absent, you will not get fire. So generally, it is the fuel. The fuel is the major issue.
After you finish, wash your clothes because tanker is coming.
So the heat is another one. Now sometimes you know that you can't remove the fuel, so you try to get rid of heat. But oxygen, you cannot. Only oxygen one, not on the ships normally, but ashore, they do try to remove oxygen also. And that is what is done generally where you have got, uh, let's say, like servers, which produce heat. Because when computers produce a lot of heat, so server rooms, or that is where what you do is you remove the oxygen completely. You have got only nitrogen, and that also very, very cold, sub-zero temperatures. So no matter what happens, but then what happens, like, AS400 servers, one of the best servers, toughest ones of IBM. CMA CGM has got that whole thing is closed, no access, totally inert atmosphere and sub-zeros. There are few hundred servers there. Last I remember was there were about 200 servers, because everything is worldwide, control is there. So everything is controlled from there. Even when you're sending an email to the next desk, it goes through that. So anyway, that is where they even remove the oxygen. But otherwise, you keep one of the elements out. Now, assessment. How do you do it? Identify fire hazards. Identify people at risk. Evaluate the risk. Remove or reduce the risk. Managing remaining risk to acceptable level, because like what I said is no matter what happens, you have to do the work you have to do. So there will be always some risk involved. Like for example, if I take a matchbox and light it, there is a risk that while lighting it, it may explode. A miniature, but it is possible. So what is done when for a smoker, he puts cigarette in mouth, he lights the match and then brings it close. Okay, this is a natural habit. Light it and then bring it close, cup it, and then you light the cigarette. So this is the way we avoid it. Similarly with lighter, the thing is you light it and then bring it close. You don't light next to the cigarette. This is one example I am giving you because I have smoked. Though these days I don't smoke, and looking at it, the cigarettes are not available. So I asked someone, one of the faculties, how do you manage? He says, मेरे इधर अभी तक मिलता है, it costs 3 times more, but मैं बचा बचा के smoking कर रहा हूँ, but he still can't give up. Okay. Manage remaining risk to acceptable levels, record the findings, monitor and review on regular basis. The monitor and review on regular basis is one of the keys, because what happens is the repeated actions are taking place on the ships. Same thing repeats every day, maybe every week, every 3 days, whatever it is. So when you have got regular monitoring and you are reviewing it, last time ठीक हो गया, अच्छा ठीक हो गया, नहीं वो last time ऐसा हो गया था. That means what happens is we are thinking about repeating whole thing in mind and saying that yes, there is a issue that we can improve it, because last time it went out of control. Fine. But that is monitoring and reviewing. CMG, okay. You're talking same one, na? CMA CGM. CMA CGM has got head office in Marseille. They employ over 20,000 people around the world. They all are connected. There is a separate network, but all the servers are in Marseille, France. Those servers, when they are on the floor, last time I knew there were about 200 servers or more now. Everything is going through the same servers, and that is where they remove oxygen. That whole floor is at sub-zero. You can't go inside to see it. You see it from remote. So that there is a chances of fire are low because oxygen is not present. Okay. So this is how. Otherwise, nowhere we can remove oxygen. So that is where the oxygen has been removed. Okay, good. Now, coming back to our identify fire hazard. No, it's assured. On ships you can't remove. Okay, identify fire hazards. You must pay attention to what? When you take general round on a ship, like an officer, what you look is, you look for sources of ignition. Is it possible to get ignition from somewhere? If you find there is a possibility that there is something loose, it can spark. Yes, in that case, you are paying attention to sources of ignition. You can have static electricity. Now here one by one, electrical equipment is a standard one. Cooking. While cooking, something can start fire. Your flames can catch up from cooking oil also. Machinery by overheating. Smokers materials, means cigarettes and so on. Welding, lighting, grinding, it also throws the sparks. Drive belts get heated up. So that heat can be lot. Now you have seen in one of the programs on National Geographic and all, even a wooden stick you keep on rubbing, it can start fire. So just keep that in mind. So you will understand anything can be heated up to start fire. Bearings, because bearings, even though they are not supposed to be creating heat, because the friction is very low there, but it is still possible. A defective bearing, it will heat up. Static electricity, this is one experience we have got in winters. And you can see sparks at times. Your own hands. I have got dry skin, so it has happened with me quite often. Sometimes guys are complaining that while shaking hand, they got sort of shock. So I became electric man. Arson is, of course, I don't have to explain. Somebody actually burning it purposely. That is sources of ignition. Attention now to the fuel. Means it can be anything that can burn. That is fuel. Anything that can burn. I did not become Batti Saab, but my skin is that dry. I had this other experience once. There used to be some of those gadgets which were meant for mischief, like a lighter. If you try to light it, you will get shock. Or there was a small book. You open it and you will get shock. These gadgets were there when we were young. So I went to some shop in Japan. So another cadet wanted to buy. So वो दबा के देख रहे, shock लग रहा है. I tried it, nothing, it only karr. So that shopkeeper told me, no, not for you. My skin is that dry, this part. Yeah, I allow anybody to smoke. As far as I go, when you are over 18, you are free citizen. So that is different. As far as I go, this is my belief. जिसको करना है वो करेगा, नहीं करना है नहीं करेगा. What is the point in telling everybody whole life that you should be like this? You know what is good, what is bad. So that is life. Don't worry. My cadets, you ask them, they will all tell you one thing. Captain was always okay. दारू भी कभी ये नहीं किया, cigarette भी नहीं किया, but they all have done well, isn't it? Okay, work process. Okay, the work process is any cargo operation, tank cleaning, welding, grinding, any work. That is where you're doing things, so there is always a possibility because you're using things. Somewhere there is a possibility of fire. Now, work process, when we talk, it includes like sources of ignitions will be there, sources of fuel will be there, and so on. Unsafe practices. That is generally the reason why it happens. Unsafe practices. Normally, when you're crossing the road, with the white lines, at the right signal, chances of somebody knocking you off are very, very low, including in India, except in some states where they don't care about it. But by and large, chances are low. But if signal is red and you try to cross, your chances go up. That is unsafe practice. Now, similarly, you have got unsafe practices on ships also. Unsafe conditions. Unsafe conditions means your workplace is not in order, like your rooms. Right? When you're staying in hostel, your rooms are never in proper condition. Same way, unsafe condition. सब कचरा इधर उधर होता है till somebody checks it out. And on ships also we check the cabins and all. Right? Fire extinguishers at night, at dark night. Question is interesting, but ship is always lit. Alleyways are always lit. No lights are switched off in alleyways where the fire extinguishers are. And on top of it, we have got emergency lighting system. So even if the main power goes off, there will be emergency lights, so you can see the fire extinguisher straight away. Plus, there are fluorescent stickers. Correct. Fluorescent sticker will tell you, that is extinguisher. I think what Vinayak Prajapati wanted was, how do you identify what type of fire extinguisher? There are two different things. I know that's a fire extinguisher, but what type? That normally you are supposed to know. You will become that good anyway. We generally know wherever, whatever extinguisher, we know which extinguishers are where. That is okay because we are deck officers. There can be issue with the marine engineer because he is not aware of everything. Do we have glow tubes on ships or in solar spy? What is glow tube? No, we don't have any glow tubes. If you are saying one of those small gadgets, you take it out and it starts burning, no? No, glow tubes. We have got fixed lights. Our light doesn't go off. It is like having your house on inverter. So you don't even know when the power is gone. Like that. We'll move on. Okay. Identify people at risk. Now everybody is not at risk. If you are doing hot work in one part of the ship, everybody is not at risk at that stage. The local group who is working there is at risk. Then additionally, indirectly, you can say if the fire starts, goes out of control, then somebody else, or like you are doing something outside cabin. No, we don't have those glow tubes on ships. Okay, so this is generally identifying the people at risk on a normal cargo ships. Everybody knows what they are doing. People at risk will come in where if you have got shore guys on board, like stevedores are on board, contractors are there, some visitors are on board, you are doing some work and something may fly, you may have cordoned off area, but still somebody walks through the area. Yes, those are the people. And in case something goes wrong, smoke fills up, do they know how to escape and all? So you identify those people at risk. Normally it's in port, not at sea. Evaluating risk is like, okay, this table is there. You work out the probability factors. Okay. Even if you just know this part is good enough. You work out probability factor, and then according to that severity, you start taking the precautions. Now, minimum risk is there. Normally, you don't need any action other than usual monitoring. Tolerable risk is you're a little bit more careful, but you know that jara sa kuch hai idhar. Medium risk onwards, you start getting more serious. This can go wrong. Yes, possible. The monitoring level improves. High risk areas and all, you have got totally sort of man. Means you are going to be there looking for things in case they get wrong. Means you are on guard totally. Other ones is like ठीक है आ गया कुछ बड़ी बात नहीं है थोड़ा सा ध्यान दे दो. But as the risk increases, you get very serious on it. An unacceptable level risk, you don't carry out work. Simple. Till you bring it down. So you don't do any work when there is unacceptable risk. The word unacceptable says it is beyond your control, so we don't do it. Next is like managing the risk. Once we accept the risk factor, how do you manage the risk? The first thing is, yes, risk is there. Whatever is, first thing is eliminate the risk. Reduce it. If you can't eliminate it, you reduce it. Like we have done it in Code of Safe Working Practices. And if you can't eliminate it completely, reduce it. After reduction, then you take more precautions, train the people, explain them the limitations, so that persons, when they are working, they are well aware of the risk involved. And we also ensure that along with it, the different newer methods which have come, like for example, earlier we had limitations on, for example, say gloves. We had ordinary gloves and we were expected to do welding. Today the gloves have improved, so risk has come down. So like that, there is technology involvement. Then you also make sure unnecessary people are not around. So you go through all the points. Procedure control is generally the main thing, means all unnecessary people shouldn't be around, and you reduce the things and say, okay, and when there is a real risk involved, you are always ready with, like for example, in case of fire, you are ready with extinguisher, ready. At times, like for example, helicopter landing and all takes place, we are ready with the fire hoses which are under pressure. It is not just putting the fire hose and waiting. The fire hose is under pressure. So all you need is just tuck and you can start the cooling straight away. So then emergency arrangements are in place. That is what I said. They are in place, ready. And PPE is always to be used. So what happens is, since we reach at point number 9 most of the times first, a lot of the smaller things get eliminated. Because your PPE will take care of so much. And since we insist on it, we don't allow you to work on deck because it's very hot, just wear a swimming trunk and work. No. That only in movies you will find, but not in real life. Okay. Then we have got monitoring, reviewing, means in simple words, fire risk assessment is continuous process. So we are always looking out for things. Incidents happen, we monitor it, we review it, and then we take improvement. Means we change the things. Either generally processes will get changed. Sometimes we realize that ये जरूरी नहीं था इसके नहीं है, but we'll put this one and that way we'll eliminate. Fine. But normally, I will say that generally on shifts the crowds are good, so it's not so much of an issue. Here we do discuss a lot more than what really happens. Ships are quite safe. It's not easy to start fire or something on ships. So we are here now. What we will do is, right now we have got some time, but you are aware of the extinguishers or no? Let me know some. These factors, portable fire extinguishers, then this fixed wheel extinguishers, hoses, etc., sand buckets, firefighters outfit. This is something is just you all have done and you have got in the book. Do you want me to revise this, or we should go back to SOLAS or FSS code? Let me get some feedback. Okay, somebody is SOLAS. Person injured, regardless of whether it's in fire or no, you follow the first aid. Always. For injured person comes under first aid. Whether it's because of fire or he just falls down somewhere or he meets accident or somebody stabs him, all this is under first aid. First aid, it depends on the injuries. Now, what happens is there are two levels of first aids on the ship. One is what you all have done, general first aid. Other one is ship captain's medical course. That is a longer course where your skills are improved. Like for first aid, you just have bandages and all. Ship captain's medical course, you will learn, including how to give injection, how to stitch. Okay. What is helideck skills is just a standard firefighting. Helideck skills, we don't have anything specialist. We just stand there, watch helicopter land, or drop a person by winching. We are not really more involved in that. Last topic, helideck equipment. Standard firefighting equipment, generally foam based. Depending on the ship. Now what happens is, normal landing and cargo ships and all, it's very straightforward. We just worry only about crash. And where there is a refueling involved, like passenger ships and all, where you have got helicopters of your own also. So there, it's like a petrol pump. You have got more precautions to take, and you have got better systems to fight fire, as well as in case there is an oil spill or anything, how to quickly cover up. That is the helideck equipment in general. Helideck is normally on passenger ships, not on every ship. Okay, how do you refill air bottles by compressor? It's a straight process. The bottle, when it is empty or pressure is low, what we do is there is an adapter which you connect, and it's a threaded one. You join it, tighten it. There are O-rings and all. Once you have joined it, then you open the bottle. Bottle has got one valve. Then you open the valve and start the compressor. Now compressor will run and keep on filling the bottle. And there is a pressure gauge which will show you that to what level the pressure is in the bottle. So once you reach that stage of, say, you say, I'm going to charge it to 200 bars. Reaches 200 bars, you can have automatic cutoffs, but normally we keep on watching. 200 bars it has reached. I stop the compressor and close the valve and then disconnect. Got the idea? Okay, good. So these ones are straightforward stuff. This you have to cover up. More attention, what I will like you all to pay is, how do you fight fire? You know, you need some imagination. If I tell you there is fire in accommodation, how do you fight fire? So that is where the management skills come in. That so many people team, how do you distribute it? What all you look for? How do you rescue a person? Now that is where the whole, you can say, skill lies. Because you can use CO2 extinguisher is not a problem. The problem is where will you find CO2 extinguisher if there is a fire on deck? How a carrying capacity of lifeboat is determined? Like carrying capacity of lifeboat is determined. You go through LSA code. It tells you how much space should be there for each person. What about the leg room? Then there is a semicircle drawn. That is one person. See, what happens is there is two way of looking at lifeboat capacity. One is the buoyancy. That is what is based on the weight of number of people along with the equipment in the boat. And boat should be stable. Another one, I have got all the weight, everything all right, but is there physical capacity, like in the sense, can so many people sit inside? Then, like if the bus has got sitting capacity of 50 persons, right? I try to squeeze in more people. Where will they sit? We're not saying that what is happening to these immigrant labor, but what we're saying is if there is a capacity, so that physical capacity by area, that is what the question is about. Carrying capacity of a lifeboat. Go through LSA code. Okay, Himanshu? If they're on deck, sure, there is no restriction in open air. If you use CO2, it's not a problem. Closed spaces you have to watch out because the CO2 you're filling up and removing oxygen. Open air, it is not going to make any difference. What else? और एक कुछ था something. Topic, the fire on deck. Fire on deck means, of course, it is more complex. What will catch fire on deck? That is one of the tricky parts. Earlier days, there was higher probability because we had a lot of rope work on deck. We used to have Manila rope and other ones. So there was a possibility koi smoke karte dal diya udhar, it caught fire. And we had a lot of wooden blocks, for guides. Today's ships, there is really nothing on deck which can catch fire. Tankers and all, of course, there is no way. There is no fuel. Means what has happened is, like I told you, you ensure that one side of the triangle is absent. So generally it is fuel. If you cannot avoid fuel, then you think about the heat. Otherwise, yes, there is no fuel. You might see sparks, but no use. Like, again, I'm coming back to the same stuff. The disposable lighters which people are using. If there is no gas inside, you keep on sparking, nothing is going to happen because there cannot be fire. Why? You have got ignition, but you don't have fuel. If you have got fuel and no ignition, again there is no fire. Oxygen we cannot eliminate. Limits of flammability. That diagram I went through 2-3 times. It depends on the material. There is no hard and fast rule, but normally below 3% and explosive part comes in between. It depends on material, but there is a lower flammable limit and upper flammable limit. That is where either the concentration of hydrocarbon vapors is too low to catch fire or it is too high to catch fire. In between, there is a chances of fire or explosion. Explosion is actually when the flame speed becomes too much. But flammability, you remember in a simple way, it is like a middle class in the society. The ones who are too poor don't get affected, who are too rich don't get affected. It's a middle class which gets affected. That is exactly flammability. Sir, if fire hose is loose and it is not fitting well on the nozzle, not possible. These ones are all metal parts which you are connecting. So there is no way you can have anything like this on the ship. It has to fit. No way you will have anything that is loose or something. Tankers, normally what happens is, who is this? Shaunak. Acha, Shaunak, welcome back. You have been missing all the time. Okay. On tankers, where we use inert gas, that is not the, normally cargo doesn't catch fire on tankers. Tankers' problems are explosions. And then accommodations and all catching fire. Now, the problem with that is, you will not have fire when there is a IG in use. The problem comes when we are gas freeing tanks to make entry. That is where we use that flammability diagram. And if you have missed it, I have put it on the YouTube channel where you have a look again. So that is where the atmosphere can enter in that middle class zone. So you have to be careful how do you gas free the tank. So that is where you can have fire. What is the weight of a fire extinguisher? Depends. There is a restriction of not more than how much? 23 kilos or something. That's maximum. 21, 23. I am mixed up a little bit, but I have given you that. But you have, these are portable ones. So don't again mix up because it can't be general fire extinguisher. Portable fire extinguisher. And you have got, no, there is nothing like average weight because foam will have different average weight. Then manufacturers will have different ones depending on what metal they have used. So there's nothing like, but on average I should say some will go about 15 kilos. Around, I will say 15, 20 kilos. You can carry it, but it's heavy. It's not something that you just take it and start playing around with it. Not like all these Rambos and all who pick up the fire extinguishers and throw at the enemy and all. You will not be able to do something like that. Then, Shaunak, what is your problem? Why you can't get into this internet? Shaunak. No, means what is the problem? Your modem is not working. But then get it exchanged, no? अभी भी कंटेनमेंट जोन में है क्या? इट इज रिमूव्ड नाउ. But what happens? Suppose if you order by Amazon or something another modem. No, normally it is not that complex anyway. But anyway, other one is which service provider you are using for mobile phone? I don't know Vodafone. Here, right now where I am staying, even Airtel is giving me something like between 14 to 20 Mbps. Means I can run these things only on my phone. But anyway, another thing is, what you can do is, because whatever I was teaching, most of it is recorded and it is on the YouTube channel. That means you go on YouTube and check Captain Damle, make sure you use correct spelling, and you will find whatever we have done. So you should be able to cover it up. And And then you can always ask questions as usual, no problem. So, okay. And I don't know, because I do see some people watching, but not something. Either better you subscribe, because for no reason anyway, but it's better you subscribe, so at least we know that, okay, people are watching it. And you will not watch it now, I am well aware. 3 days before the exam, all action starts. Correct? This is something I have always seen. Huh. Yeah, repeating refilling of air bottle means, what is repeating? The same air bottle is used n number of times. You refill it all the time. You not got it. It is not one time. You can keep on refilling every time you use it. You refill it, no problem. But these compressors are medical compressors. They are not same air compressors like anywhere else you see. They have got special filters to filter out any sort of lubricants. Otherwise, when you breathe, you will be taking oil mist in your lungs. So these are different compressors. They are kept in a separate place. There is one compressor which is kept in a separate place, and that is where third mate or second mate, whoever is in charge, will be filling up the bottles after every drill. Every drill we use the air bottles. What else? So, any more questions? I become panelist. Once this Mahindra guys had called me as a panelist on one of the logistics. The whole thing was a standard stuff. Everybody uses these things to sell things. They wanted to sell more trucks to people, so they were transporters and all. I was eminent panelist. So what they gave me was, after whole thing, the usual stuff. Yes, these are the problems in the port. Transportation should be like the usual stuff. Went on, and then it ends up with cocktail and dinner. And generally, since you are gone there, they give you some sort of gift, which is generally something that you can keep in your office to show something like, they're one of the products. So that guy gave me one purse. Then there was something else. There was one truck model, which you don't buy in shops, but this was a model. तो मैं घर लेके आया. तो मैं बोला क्या है यार, मेरे को बच्चा समझ रहा है, छोटा ट्रक का मॉडल दिया हाथ में उठा के. And then it was kept in the house, and one of the neighbors, small kid, less than 2 years old, he used to come with his mother. So मैं उसको दे दिया, and he converted into spare part shop nicely. Okay, Ahan, see here 23 kilos maximum. Okay, not exceeding 23 kilos. So I think I was right. Cyclone in Maharashtra, I don't think it's going to hit us anyway. But right now, after so many days, like yesterday and today, I am not really switching on AC. Last night also beautiful, it is cooled down everything. नहीं, मुंबई में कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. The position किधर है? 500 kilometers away from Mumbai. Then if you look at the weather charts, it is going to go northwards, so it is going to hit probably Oman and all those areas. No, warning everybody gives. Why? Because in case things go wrong, don't say that I did not warn. I had enough of these so-called cyclones in Gujarat. It used to be a big panic thing for CMA, CGM people sitting in France. The warning has been given. So once it was like that, so they wanted to know, should we cut off the cargo and sail? I said, for what? No, Captain, that advisory is there and all. I said, yes, but right now I am sitting and enjoying beautiful weather, and I am only 5 kilometers from the port. So don't worry about it. Now, same thing is happening. West Coast normally, West Coast of any part of the world, whether it's West Coast of USA, West Coast of South America, any West Coast, There are very, very, very few cyclones there. East coast will get hit. Right now we are expecting something in hitting Bengal and Orissa. But west, this develops as a mild storm. If it develops also, there is a pattern how the TRS travels. So the recurvature point is about 35 degrees. So that goes north of Gujarat, well north. And by the time it makes landfall. So you hear once in a while Oman and these areas, you get something. But generally to warn fishermen and all, because when damages take place, everybody gets excited. So they keep on warning. But I don't think anything is going to happen. That is my judgment. डरा देते थोड़ा सा. So it is not going to hit. And if you want to see it, now actually we don't have much time, but there is a pattern. Normally it forms in around, 0 to, not 0, generally 4 degrees to 8 degrees latitude. Then it starts traveling straight away to westward. Then it starts curving slowly up around 35 degrees of latitude, plus minus of course few degrees. It will curve like hyperbola, and it will take something like northeasterly direction. So first it moves westerly, slowly it becomes like northwesterly, and then after curvature it goes northeast. And sometimes it recurves and takes a circle there and goes back. But that is rare, very rare. Okay, now anything more for today? No, nothing. Very good. Atir said nothing. Nothing is required, no? Adyan also says no. Just make sure you continue with your test and finish off assignment. This weekend is the last one. Okay, so I will. Yeah, that's what I said. The dark may. There is nothing like in dark. Ship doesn't get this. You always are light. There will be fluorescent patch which tells you there is extinguisher there. What type normally you know if you're working on a ship as a deck officer probably, but others know there is a extinguisher. There is no blackout on ship because there is a emergency power supply. Na? There is emergency power supply, so you will not get blackout. And if that fails, then only choice you will have is with a torch to see the extinguisher. It is not going to be written there that this is foam extinguisher and that you will be able to read without light. Okay? You are not going to see that. If you are exhausted, then you can feel it. Candles are out of question. So you can feel it, you can touch it. The worst possible case, you can touch it and see. Because CO2 is different. So all of them have got little different heads. Na? So you touch the head and you will be okay. You ask Shelke sir also. He will give you some idea. Any other method. So now all of you all are bored. So you all are coming with all mischief questions. But sir, if that fails,